One man, Joe Pinnock, was confirmed as having died as a result of an assault sustained during the outbreak, which happened in the wake of the Eagles' Digicel Cup semi-final defeat to the Rabal Gurias in Port Moresby. The incident was sparked by one of the Eagles' officials punching the match referee, which led to a pitch invasion and a terrifying riot in which police drew their guns and were forced to use tear gas. A harsh line has been taken to set a precedent as violence continues to disrupt the game of rugby league in Papua New Guinea. PNG NRL Administrator Stanley Hondina outlined the following punishments for both clubs who were involved in the tragic semi-final, and they were as follows. You'll have to forgive my pronunciation. The Wampanga Mount Hagen Eagles received the following. The Eagles have been suspended from taking part in the Digicel Cup competition for the next 3 years, so that's from 2017 and inclusive of 2019. The third place prize money of what I presume is 20,000 Papua New Guinean dollars. I don't know what the currency is over there. I don't know what a K stands for. It's probably not kroner, is it? Is to be forfeited to meet the cost of damages done on the day. The team assistant trainer Stanley Aquino has been banned for life from partaking in PNG NRL sanctioned competitions and is never to be seen within 50 metres of a PNG NRL competition. Eagles player Francis Ray has been suspended for 10 years as a player and official in any PNG NRL sanctioned competitions. Eagles player and captain Junior Rao has been suspended for 10 years as a player and official in any PNG NRL sanctioned competitions, and civil charges have been laid against Stanley Aquino and Junior Rao and is a police matter now. The Agmark Rabal Gurias, 4 players, Francis Paniu, Samuel Hamari, Lucas Capinias and Adrian Bangus have been charged for breach of Players' Code of Conduct against spectators, and they have been charged 5,000 Papua New Guinean
Kina,
thank you. 5,000 Kina each. This fine must be paid before the commencement of the 2017 Digicel Cup season. The 4 players will also serve a 5-match suspension for the first 5 games of the 2017 season. Yeah, utterly tragic. And
so 1 Kina is about 20, well, just under 25 pence. Okay. So that's like a £5,000 fine, I suppose.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
There you go.
20,000 and then
yeah, that's where we're at. Okay. And finally, the Cambridge Trojans are currently on the lookout for players with the aim of entering a team in the South West League for 2017. Set up last month by Barry Whittle. Is he?
Yeah, Malcolm's son, yeah.
There you go, cool. And Joe Bramley, they have ambitions to become Devon's next new active rugby league club, as Whittle explains. Me and Joe were very successful at our previous club, the Devon Sharks, becoming South West champions 4 times and reaching the semi-finals of the Harry Jepson Trophy. The pair stepped down at the end of last season to take a break after serving the club for 10 years, but Whittle admits, as soon as I left, I missed it, so I looked for an opportunity to get something going in Newton Abbott, just down the road from the Sharks. The ambition is to allow more and more people to have the chance to experience our great game. So, if you live in that neck of the woods, in Cambridge and in Devon...
Newton Abbott.
Yeah, absolutely. Get in touch. Well, either do some research or get in touch via us and we can put you in touch with people.
We'll just search for Newton Abbott Rugby League on Facebook or on Twitter and their pages will come up there anyway. I'm sure by now on the South West Rugby League website, I assume there's something on there. This was I think the thing that I lifted this from was like a RFL press release about it. But those pages have all popped up. They're all there if you want to go and have a look.
Yeah, good luck to the lads in establishing a new club.
Obviously, it splits our loyalties a little bit, doesn't it?
No, I'll always be a Shark. I'll always be a Devon Shark.
Fair enough.
No, after the support, look, I want everyone to succeed and to do well, but Malcolm Whittle was there at the beginning.
No, of course, but obviously Malcolm's a big supporter of all of Devon Rugby League, particularly now the Trojans as well.
Absolutely, and good luck to them.
It's good to see another club down there.
It's fantastic, yeah.
And I hope they go well because Barry obviously and Joe did a great job with the Sharks over that first 10 years. Yeah. Numerous awards and stuff. And whilst the Sharks have had a little bit of a return to form this year, still not quite matching the the Cornish Rebels. And Devon Rugby League have got a fixture against Wales Rugby League coming up. If you go onto the Devon Rugby League Facebook page or go onto the Devon Sharks Facebook page, there's a banner there if you're interested in attending that.
Superb.
Yeah.
Right, that's the news from around the world of rugby league.
Oh, we were going to talk about...
I'm just going to say it slowly from now on because oh God.
There's no real news story as such to come out of it. The whole ref stuff that's been in the league weekly newspaper.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we wanted to talk about it much.
It all just smacked a bit sour grapey for me in like particularly Thomason, who kind of lost his job in less than salubrious circumstances. I haven't read a tremendous amount of this. I haven't read the second part though.
Well, Thomason obviously was cleared of any.
Oh, was he?
Any wrongdoing? It turns out someone had made up a load of crap about him assaulting a child when actually just
shows why I know.
Give his kid a slap on the leg because his kid was mouthing off during the game, so he pulled him off the pitch.
Right.
And the kid started mouthing off to him on the sideline, so he gave him a little smack on the leg.
So it shows what happened. So that's more than I knew would happen with that.
So yeah.
Then I'm entirely uninformed.
It sounds like the previous regime was not really geared to training match officials, which actually wouldn't be a surprise given how match officials kind of declined a little bit in their... whilst they might have improved in fitness and stuff, the on the pitch standards I felt declined during that period. And now to try and address that, what they've gone to is an approach of open competition, which is why you've seen all the new refs come in. But part of that adjusting to that was trying to find a balance between full-time refs and part-time refs, and also trying to, I don't know, get the ones whose faces fit a little bit, because it sounds a bit like maybe Stokes is one of the ones who maybe was a bit outspoken, I don't know. Roby was similarly potentially quite critical, and Silverwood again of the sharp regime, and I suppose it's gone through that transitional phase of clearing out some of the people who maybe upset the apple cart a bit, which isn't what you want to necessarily. You shouldn't be doing that as an organisation. You should be listening to all the people involved, especially people who love the sport and have put so much into the sport like these referees have for all these years. So it does sound like there's been a little bit of harsh treatment dished out to some of the guys. But I would recommend getting the League Weekly from this week and last week, get it up on the app and reading the stories.
Well, I'm certainly going to have to, because I'm entirely uninformed on the subject, it would seem.
Yeah, now some of the current guys have come out and defended it, like Hewer, the current golden boy, and Thaler, people like that have come out.
Hewer's not liked it. Yeah, I don't ever want to.
No, but what they've talked about is the standards improving now. Hewer particularly said he was thinking about ducking out of the sport until the new regime came in, because it gave him renewed impetus to feel like he had a chance to referee Super League games whilst maintaining a part-time position, because effectively almost all the full-time referees are part-time referees, part-time doing something else for the RFL anyway. And even some of the other full-time referees were still maintaining serious levels of work in their previous employment. And for Stokes, that was one of the issues that came up, really, that they kind of scheduled things awkwardly for him. But yeah, so it's interesting.
There you go.
Yeah. But again, it wasn't really like headliney newsy sort of thing, because it was more just people's accounts of how they felt about how they were treated and stuff. But it is interesting, and it does seem like things are on a better track than they were. So let's hope that that's true.
Indeed. Have you got any little more bombs to drop, or can I take us into the round 4 of the Super 8?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, that's news from around the world of rugby league taken care of.
Let's take a look.
But my problem is you at the minute. My problem is you. Round 4 of the Super 8s, kids. Right, so into the Super 8s then. We'll start on Thursday night down at the DW, Mark, where Wigan served up an attacking masterclass.
How do we do this?
Against Widnes. Well, we talk about the fact that you guys were utterly woeful and should have romped this and could just produce nothing offensively to break down a Widnes attack that at one point had 11 men on the field.
Right, well,
I don't think there's a positive way to spin it.
I'm not trying to spin it any
No, I'm saying.
I come into this podcast, we do this podcast as fans of Rugby League, and then behind that is informed off fandom of our own individual clubs. So obviously I will have some leanings of bias towards certain things and what have you, and people might not always take kindly to be talking about my own club or whatever, especially because it's the club everyone hates. But
I don't hate them.
I've got I mean, that love of rugby league goes aside for a second here, and this is Mark, the Wigan fan, talking. Because I don't know how anyone who actually loves the sport of rugby league could have enjoyed what they had to watch on Thursday night.
That was horrific.
To be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Spoiling tactics from a Widnes team determined to set records all over the place for how many ruck penalties they give away, and just awful, drab, desperately poor, whatever Wigan could what served up was just terrible. I mean,
and as much as you say spoiling tactics from Widnes, and I get that there was a negative approach from them in terms of the speed at which the game was being played, that seems to have been in part at least responsible for their ability, for them winning the game. Was it not just a case that Dennis Betts set them up to play a certain way and Wigan were just unable to?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Wigan haven't slowed the ruck down since Michael Maguire came into the team and since. But they do it within the parameters of the law, like Huddersfield did under what's his face, Newcastle Knights coach
Nathan Brown.
So, and other coaches as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I think this is a problem. The speed of the ruck is a problem the referees need to sort out, and Phil Bentham was not strong enough to sort this out in the first 10 minutes of the game when he should have done. Widnes could have had someone sin-binned. They could have had 4 or 5 penalties in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the game, and could have had someone sin-binned at that point. He left that off till the second half, so he never got control of that, because he obviously had to balance out how many penalties he gives. Now, if coaches are going to coach players to go out there and do stuff, and a line is crossed too many times, a line is crossed as much as it was crossed by the Widnes team on Thursday night, the referees need to start addressing this, and not just with the Widnes team, but with the Wigan team when they do it, with every team when they do it. Don't get me wrong, but the scourge of this league at the moment for entertainment value is not just that teams like Wigan and St Helens are attacking desperately badly, but also that, and throw Catalans into that mix as well, I suppose, but also how much crap goes on at rucks from both the players with the ball and players without the ball. But anyway, I've mentioned this all year, haven't I? And I think it's culturally come in, and I think it's partly because of part-time referees sort of coming up from the Championship where things are slower anyway, doing more games. I think that's a part of it, but I think there's a bigger problem there. Referees need to address it because club coaches seem determined to not, which is a problem. Sean Wayne's one of those problems, and I'm not saying he isn't, so before people get on my back for that, he's not. But in this game, it was deliberate penalties that they were giving away at the ruck constantly. And it was beyond what a Wigan side who hold a player up a bit longer do, or a Huddersfield side who would twist a player as they go into the ground a bit more than other teams would do, or do you know what I mean? Or a Saints team who put the hand on the ball a lot and get away with that a lot would do. So it's not it's not that. It's the second thing, but we've gone off the track of where I was going to go with how crap Wigan are. This game nearly made me want to not do the show.
Really?
It was that bad.
Wow.
I was that angry. I've not been this angry with a Wigan performance in the day or so after the performance. Since the Noble era, I would say. You get over losses. You deal with losing in finals because, hey, you're lucky to have got to, it's great to have to experience finals as a fan. You win some, you lose some. And I'd be a dickhead if I thought like we had some God-given right to win every final, especially in a salary cap era in a sport that I love and want to be competitive. But it's when I'm watching boring, terrible attack that I watch week after week after week after week, and it just gets to a point where we lose a game that we had no reason to lose given the amount of ball and territory and possession, especially in the second half that we had from a team that, to be completely honest, were far poorer than a team that should be beating a Wigan side at home were. If you look at the second half, how many times Widnes dropped the ball in their own 20-metre line. Forget about the penalties for a second. They dropped the ball about 6 times in the second half on exit sets, and Wigan weren't able to take advantage of that. They missed touch on a penalty. Wigan weren't able to take advantage of that field position. It was just pathetic from Wigan, and I've seen too much of it this year. And I've moved from the camp of if Wayne wins a grand final, he